Hello everybody and welcome to iReadit, bringing you your daily dose of the internet for Tuesday, October 17th, 2017. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
Please remember, everybody, you can help support our show by going to patreon.com/dailyinternet. In addition, we do go live Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Alaska time on Facebook as well as YouTube. Nathan, how are you doing today?
I would just like to say, if you are here listening to us right now, you're doing something wrong.
Oh, because of the Megabots thing?
Because there's a fucking robot fight going on.
You got to open in another window?
No, I'm saving myself. Ryan's coming over, and we're going to sit there and watch it together.
Yeah, you're saving yourself?
Yeah, for Ryan.
Right on, man. Right on. Oh, man. So, in any case, yeah, I'm sure we'll be talking about that tomorrow.
I'm going to be talking about it whenever the fuck I want.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about it on a show. You won't shut up about it tomorrow, I'm sure.
Dude, it's going to be so dope!
It's happening right this moment, Nathan.
I know!
Right now. Giant robots
guys,
are getting ready to fight.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye. Just a quick week ahead of time announcement. We will not have a show next Tuesday. Nope. 2 Tuesdays from now, which is Halloween. I will not be here. I am going to be going to an event for my daughter. So in that case, we will not have a show in 2 weeks. I will remind you next.
Halloween's on a Tuesday?
Halloween's on a Tuesday.
That's shitty.
Yeah. It's also really shitty that the thing we're going to, which is like this like trick-or-treat arcade like mini game like hangout thing, which is like in Palmer, it's happening on Halloween. And like, that's cool and all, but why didn't you have it on like, I don't know, Saturday? Because
some people don't like having their kiddos, you know, walk around at night.
Oh,
they want a safer Halloween, you know?
Oh, I know, and I totally am all for that. My point is you are having this event for people. Make it on a day where people can get there.
Sure, I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's that it's timed properly because of what they're trying for.
You're timed properly?
No.
I don't know. I got nothing.
No, oftentimes I'm early.
Oh, Nathan. There it is. In any case, shall we jump into some news, good sir? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
10.
Yes.
Woman tests the limits of hotel's pet policy by bringing in her horse.
This is submitted by a generic Reddit username to R Not the Onion.
That is a great username.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, she checked into a hotel, and the hotel said that they allowed pets, and there's lots of animals in the lobby. She's like, cool, can I bring in my horse? And they're like, what? Yeah, sure. Thinking that, you know, she was just messing with him. Nope, went out.
And then she turns to him. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing.
I don't think she told him to give it a lick, though.
But it tastes just like raisins.
I believe you, but I will just believe you. I will take your word for it, sir.
Well, with a stroke of its mane, it turns into a plane, and then it turns back again when you tug on its winky.
Oh, that's dirty. Anyway, she
so?
went out to her truck and opened the trailer and pulled the horse out of the trailer and walked inside. And they're like, "Oh my God, it's actually a horse!" And then she took the horse into her room with her. And they're like, "Oh wait, our policy is only 25 pounds." Or oh well.
We'll just let it slide this time.
Yeah, normally their policy is 25 pounds or less is what's allowed in the room. The horse exceeds that.
You don't say. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be about 25 pounds.
He's a 5-year-old horse. He's very sweet. His name is Blizz.
Oh. Is he like a racehorse, or is he just a horse?
He's a competition horse. It's not so much races so much as like the ones that, you know, jump hurdles and weave and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So it's a show horse.
Show horse, yeah.
Mm-hmm. My sister was an equestrian.
Oh, is that so? Was that so?
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I helped her buy a lot of brittles and shit online.
That's cool. It's pronounced bridle, but
yeah.
Sure. Yeah, bridle, whatever.
9.
Netanyahu's government is trying to ban police investigations of prime ministers.
This was submitted by Bender's cousin to Our World News.
I didn't know Bender has a cousin. So
yeah, isn't Flexo his cousin?
Maybe. No, Flexo was the dude that just looked like him, that had the little magnetic beard.
Yeah, that's fair.
It wasn't his cousin, he just looked the same.
I have to look up Bender to see if there has to be a cousin to Bender.
In any case, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to pass a bill that would make sitting prime ministers, so himself, immune to particular forms of criminal investigation. Now, there's a lot of reason that people are going, hey now, about this is because Netanyahu is currently under a large amount of investigations for possible criminal charging, including fraud charges against his wife. She is accused of misusing $100,000 in public funds, and a few other corruption charges are also being brought forth towards Mr. Netanyahu. Now, that said, if this went forward, those investigations may or may not need to cease. It is unsure at this time, as they have not actually been locked down in terms of what they would prevent and how they would prevent them.
I feel like this is a bad plan going forth altogether.
Yeah, I don't feel like just because you're sitting in office, you should be excused from being investigated if you are doing something wrong.
Yeah, he's being a fucking Yahoo.
God damn it, Nathan.
It's a pun.
Also, Bender has a deceased uncle,
Okay.
a mother, an unnamed younger brother, an unnamed younger brother and an unnamed older brother.
Okay, interesting.
His uncle is called Vladimir. And, he's dead.
So, I mean, and there have been previous attempts at immunity bills for prime ministers, and they've been voting down. One of the more recent ones was Ehud Olmert, who was found guilty of fraud and bribery, and he was just released from prison in July after serving a sentence for those charges.
Yeah, this is definite bullshit. You shouldn't be allowed to do shit like this at all.
Well, we'll see if it actually happens. Israel's in an interesting position right now, especially with, like, the what was their fucking name? The World Education and Health Organization or whatever the hell UNESCO.
UNESCO.
Beating down on them so hard.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm just saying he's being a fucking Yahoo.
I'm not hitting it again, Nathan.
I know.
8.
Maltese journalist's son says she was murdered for exposing corruption.
This was submitted by Panda911 to Our World News.
So we didn't actually talk about this original story because it just didn't pop at the right time. There are sometimes that we miss stories and then they get buried or moved on, and so there are sometimes that we do miss things. In this case, there was a Maltese journalist who was exposing corruption in Malta, and she was getting people to take the steps forward to expose this political corruption. She apparently had evidence and documentation, was about to go forward with all of it, and then her car exploded from a car bomb.
Well, things that look suspicious for 400, Alex.
Yeah, no, things that look suspicious for 3,000.
Sure.
Like, we're going for a big one here because that looks real suspicious.
Actually, aren't the easy ones supposed to be, the cheaper? So this is what? Things that look suspicious for $1, Alex.
There you go. In any case, they hadn't actually started to go forward with it yet because she had wrote about a large amount of the evidence she was finding on her blog about the political divides that were happening. And, well, she was about to, actually start making waves in it and, met an untimely demise.
Yeah, I feel like that's so bad for her. Because I don't know. I feel bad for any journalist who is murdered, essentially, for trying to expose something.
Right.
It's just, you're trying your hardest. You're trying what every journalist wants to do. You want to get the truth out. You just get murdered for it.
Well, people
I really hope some compensation, in the least, can go to her mother.
Well, despite having accusations against them, the Prime Minister of Malta, Joseph Muscat, who had even been suing this journalist over her allegations, has denounced her killing and has pledged to track down those people responsible. Now, if they're the ones responsible, then that means probably nothing's going to be found. But who knows? She had been talking about a large number of people, not just the Prime Minister, so it could have been one of these other people that were associated with these allegations as well.
Okay, so maybe not the Prime Minister, maybe it was somebody else.
It could have been a lot of people. So
that's fucking shitty, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I at least want to see what she has. Like, I want it out there. I want everyone to be able to see it, especially the Maltese people.
Well, and the question is how much of it was lost in the bomb?
That's a good question. I wonder if she had any backed up information.
Well, Maltese authorities are currently waiting for the arrival of Dutch forensic experts and American FBI agents to help conduct the investigation, but that's as far as we've gotten right now.
Okay. Well, here's hoping we find something. Because, yeah, that's definitely fucked up.
7.
Top Trump official John Kelly ordered ICE to portray immigrants as criminals to justify raids.
This was submitted by JetWash86 to Our Politics. Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Oh, my God. Fuck John Kelly. Get him out of office.
You're going to run out of people eventually, buddy.
That's all right. We'll get new people in there. Ones that... This is me actually draining the swamp. You know?
So if the ICE, which is also known the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that's the actual office. So they, as part of, Trump's entire thing, they've been going through particular areas and trying to root out undocumented immigrants, people who are here illegally, and trying to get them shipped out and stuff. But as part of this process, they have been told to, do a full investigation on each of these people to help engineer a substantive narrative about how dangerous these people are. So in each area, now they don't define what the area is. It could be a town, it could be a county. They were instructed to come up with 3 egregious cases of apprehended criminals to highlight in the media. If they weren't able to find 3 egregious cases of apprehended criminals that were here illegally, then they were supposed to borrow ones from the next region over.
That's fucked up, dude.
Now, that said, of the number of people that have been arrested, there's been right around 680 arrests nationwide, almost all of which have no criminal history whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I figure people want to live, especially in a place like America. Even though we are kind of shitty, we're a lot better than a lot of other places.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean...
This right here, this just leaves me no faith in the government.
Well, and
shit like this, I guess.
Like, I understand and am able to not necessarily support, but accept the idea of wanting to find the illegal and undocumented immigrants. I don't necessarily agree with deportation. If they have established themselves and stuff like that, then help them get to a point where they can stay, especially because we have lots of room and lots of money. Like, it's not like we have so much space in America. Like, the amount of space that we have compared to our population is laughable. It is hilarious how much room we have and how few people we actually let in. And when people have already gotten here and established themselves, I don't see a reason to send them to a place that they don't have anything at.
But, Michael, our veterans.
What about them?
Shouldn't we be housing our veterans?
What is that?
If the only time you bring up our veterans is when people are talking about immigration, then you're the fucking problem.
Well, and the other problem that I have, and not, I know that you were just, doing a quick little bit, but I'll go ahead and respond to it anyway, is that when it comes to homeless people, the veterans that don't have homes or anything like that, one is the majority of, in most places, there are programs to help those people. They willingly choose to not participate in those programs.
Yeah, it's honestly astonishing.
Like, and not to say that...
Like, how much people will go out of their way to do things on their own when there's plenty of help in front of them? People just, especially here, they don't understand help is a good thing. Well,
and also here, like, particularly in, like, the case of Alaska, why would you want to be homeless here? It gets fucking cold. Like,
dude, it fucking blows.
Like, this is not the place to be homeless. Like, all the homeless people in Hawaii, I'm less surprised. Like, but here, you want to be homeless in Alaska? What? Like, no, this is not the place you be homeless at. But regardless of that, there are programs and places and systems that will help you, whether you're just a regular homeless, and especially if you're a veteran. They will help you. Whether you have a drug problem or you don't have a house, they will help you, but you have to be willing to accept it.
And that's the problem. People just don't want to get help.
No, they don't. And so, like, when people are like, what about our unhomed immigrants? Oh, not unhomed immigrants. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a good thing to question as well.
Unhomed immigrants.
Our unhomed veterans, it's like, well, make them go get help. The people will help them. But no. So, in any case, I'm just glad that, like, with all the people they arrested, that they didn't actually find anything, because that just proves them wrong.
Yeah, I'm really happy too.
6.
Verizon and AT&T accused of selling your phone number and location to almost anyone.
Oh, fuck. This was submitted by Baking Mitten to our technology.
We even talked previously about allegations that were brought against Verizon for tracking their users even after they had turned off particular products or chosen to not use location services. And they paid a fine in regards to that. But apparently, according to a recent investigation by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, they found that, both Verizon and AT&T are still kind of doing it by different means and selling it to anyone that'll give them money.
Literally, fuck you both. Sure, these people sign these contracts, but again, I will express it. People do not fucking read. Stop making these goddamn terms of services that just don't outright spell it out to you what they're allowed to fucking do.
Well, and what it does is that, for instance, with Verizon, they have what is called a unique identifier header. And what that is added to the information to HTTP requests. So that's how you get to a website from Verizon customers. And then for a fee, would let any website that wants to see that information.
Yeah, fuck.
And AT&T has a basically completely similar program, but it's under a different name called the Mobile Identity API. Which basically says, you use AT&T to look at this place, we will let people know if they pay us.
Yeah, they're just... Oh, God. It's fucking... puts a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, and like with the tracking services, in that entire deal with Verizon, they got hit pretty hard on that, and now they have a very clear, explicit opt-in program for this service that they were doing without telling people or anything like that before. And it's opt-in, not opt-out, because that's a very important difference. But because this operates differently, it doesn't fall under that order that was given to Verizon, so we'd have to go through that entire process again.
Oh, God. Opt-in programs are way better than opt-out programs, for the most part.
For the most part.
Because usually when they go, oh, it's an opt-in program, people know. Like, right off the bat, it's kind of, shitty.
Tim in the chat room says, so if you go to any .gov website? Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they fucking know.
5.
Holder fires back at Trump claiming Obama didn't call soldiers' families. Stop the damn lying.
This was submitted by Panda911 to Our Politics.
So, again, a story that pretty much really got spread around yesterday. It didn't make it into our show because of its timing. In this case, we were talking about the 4 Green Berets that died in Niger, or Niger, if you would like to pronounce it the way that they pronounce it there. And it is customary for any member of the military that falls, that dies, while in service to the country, that the president will normally call their family personally. He will call them and let them know and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so when asked about that, he said, that he was, he had written personal letters and that they'd either gone out or they would go out by the end of the day or by tomorrow. He wasn't sure. He knows that he already written the letters and that if he could find time, he would call them. Now, on that statement alone is fine. Like, okay, whatever. Waited.
That's good for you. You like to call these people and write them a letter.
Yeah, he's like, I wrote him a letter. If I can find time, I'll go and give him a call. Cool. But then, because he's Trump, he had to keep talking, and
dude, all right. So if he ended his fucking speeches or so with maybe like a sentence to a paragraph less, I think he would be a lot better at speaking.
So then he went on to say, well, the traditional way, if you look at President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls. And everyone went, wait, what? What?
Hold the phone.
how do you know? And two, you fucking what? And so this got passed, and people kept bringing it back up to him until finally he's like, well, I don't know what they did. And it's like, well, you just said you did.
Right? Oh, my God. He fucking talks himself into a goddamn circle, and when you point it out, he just... Ugh. I hate it. I hate it so much. I almost wish I was in a Taliban prison.
Now, there's tons of people from families who had family members die while Obama was in office, several of which have came forward and said, yes, Obama did call us. I have no idea what he's talking about. And there was even people calling him out because he said previous presidents, which means he's throwing lots of presidents under the bus. And some people were just full on yelling at Trump on Twitter of like, because sometimes the president will come visit you, depending on the circumstance and where they are and stuff like that. And one girl was telling a story about how her brother or father died, I don't remember, and President Bush came to tell her, and she just yelled at him for like 15 minutes straight and then hugged him and cried a bunch and stuff like that. And so she was very angry that Trump was dismissing what previous presidents have done. And Trump was like, he's like, those calls suck. And it's like, yeah, I believe it. I believe that they suck. I believe they are terrible and horrible, and I would hate to make one of those phone calls. And it's not even that Trump isn't doing it. From what I can tell, he is. He's just saying that other presidents didn't. Probably because he wanted to make himself look better, I guess.
I'm almost 100% certain that is exactly what he's trying to do. Because he's in such this... His approval rating is fucking utter trash. He wants to make himself look better. The problem is he's a fucking moron, and he says the wrong fucking things, and it gets him into a deeper hole.
What is Trump's approval rating right now?
It's fucking abysmal.
His approval rating...
Like 30-something%, right?
According to 538, it is at 38%.
Yeah, that's fucking... garbage. As a president, you shouldn't be having 38% as your approval rating. It means you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, it means a lot of people are unhappy.
And continuing to do something wrong.
Now, that said, on this same note, since those Green Berets have passed away, he has said that, he hasn't had time to call them. People did the math, and he has played 120 holes of golf since they have passed away and has not called them.
Oh, so he is doing the thing that he accused all of these other presidents of not fucking doing.
Yeah.
I'll fucking say it. You're a fucking moron, you piece of shit.
I'm just going to go with hypocrite. Like, a lot of it is more hypocrisy than anything. I mean, he all the way through his campaign trail, he talked about the number of executive orders that Obama signed. He's already broken the number that Obama signed in his first 10 months in office. So, I mean, a lot of it is just hypocrisy. And
I'd like to point out that hypocrisy is pretty fucking idiotic.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty moronic.
Speaking of things that aren't moronic, though, and are very intriguing, and something I'm surprised we haven't gotten around to sooner.
4.
Colorado political candidate promises to give his seat to an app.
This was submitted by Mavia to Our Futurology.
So
that's fucking awesome.
Camilo Casas, running for city council in Boulder, Colorado this November, he doesn't plan to make any decisions himself. He himself has built an app called parti.vote, and it'll be a liquid democracy app in which all of his constituents, through a vetting process to help them sign up so that it can be secure, anytime there is a decision will be made, they can go onto their app, parti.vote, and vote on that. And as long as one vote gets more than 50% of all of the responses, he will vote that way.
That's awesome. Dude, this is fucking cool.
It's really...
I mean, it could be open to a lot of bad things, hacking, etc. But if I'm allowed to take pictures of my W-2 and fucking do my taxes over this app on my phone, then I feel like they could get the necessary functions in this app to be able to do it, where it's a lot less easy to hack.
Well, initially they're going to be vetting signups on party.vote against Colorado's Secretary of State's publicly available voter rolls. So you have to be a registered voter in the area to be able to sign up to parti.vote. And also they want to start to try and utilize biometrics for verification. Now, that said, most easy ways to retrieve biometrics are still not great, but they are getting better. But in any case, I mean, they are trying to figure out ways to prevent interference.
That's fucking cool. Tim in the chat asks about trolls. Like, what about the trolls, like with Bodie McBoatface? I guess that would be why they are trying to do like the facial biometrics, so that you have the identity for whoever is logging into this app, in addition to the vetting process.
Well, and a lot of the things when it's regards to like a public official voting is yay, nay. So, I mean, you're not going to be getting submissions of Bodie McBoatface. You're going to get people that are, your options are, do you want him to vote yes to approve this or no? That's your options. Yes or no.
I want them to go a little bit more. I want them to be like, hey, here's the yes or no, but also here's a brief summary of what this entails.
Oh, I'm sure that there is.
Because that would be fucking cool.
I'm sure that it would have some sort of information in regards to that. Now, this won't matter if Mr. Cassis doesn't get elected, and right now with the current projections, he doesn't believe that he will, but he wants to push this agenda anyway to raise awareness, so hopefully other candidates will adopt it.
That's fucking cool.
Now,
Tim in the chat asks, so your vote won't be private. I figure it's less your vote's still being private. It's just they have access to your vote with your facial recognition and your ID, if need be. Which I don't know if that would be really a thing that you would need, honestly.
I don't know. I mean, technically, your vote right now isn't technically private. I mean, it is your name and what you voted for being held by the Division of Elections. The only difference in this case is instead of the Division of Elections, your vote tied to your name would be held by the parti.vote app, which is operated by the candidate. Now, they have that information. It is collected, but it wouldn't be posted out there like, Tim Stein voted nay to, X, Y, or Z. Tim says Russian hackers. Well, that doesn't matter anyway. Literally with Equifax handing out everyone's information, and let's not pretend like the government agencies are exactly secure. If people wanted that information, they're going to get it.
Admin, right?
Admin, yep. God damn it, Equifax. The thing instead that I would like this is a good direction that I am interested in. I want to see electronic voting mobily. Like, you can mail in your vote right now, and I'm like, why is mailing in my vote any different than typing it into an app?
Because it's more secure.
No, it is not.
But paper, Michael.
Oh, God.
That way we can physically sit there and count it.
No. They don't even physically count it anyway. They shove it into an Autotron.
Tim in the chat says to fix my portrait, and I will once you donate up to $200.
Yeah, well, yeah. Once we get up to $200 a month, Nathan will fix his portrait. We're at 100 right now, so it'd be right around a one-time fee of $100 to fix it.
Which I still got to fucking talk to Michael about that rap. I just haven't talked to him in a couple days.
If anything, I'll just start trying to write it myself, and it will be so bad. Whoo!
Oh, I figure.
Whoo! Tim says, I'm just saying this could set precedents. Next thing you know, federal senators will be using this, and they might. And, it really depends on how you feel the government should be ran. Because there are some people that believe, you vote for the representative that is most in line with your ideals, and then from there, you don't worry about it anymore. Now, because I know people that is what they believe. You voted for this person, now you ignore it. You go back to your life. Other people like to be very involved with the politics and their government and stuff like that, even if they're not the actual public official themselves. What do you want to see in your government? And that's the problem, kind of altogether, is that people are often pretty equally split on what they want to see. Most votes are normally 49, 51% votes, or even closer than that. It's 49.9, 50.1% splits in terms of yay, nay on a good number of votes. Things are very, very close in terms of the divide that actually makes things happen. So, I don't know.
That's yeah. I want to see this happen more, and I think it's hilarious that it's coming out of Colorado first. Colorado seems to be setting the precedent for a lot of things.
So, I don't know. And I mean, there have been also cases in the past of which they didn't allow people to vote on referendums because the masses tend to have opinions that could squander particular groups of people's rights.
Yeah, if enough people are racist in an area.
So it's a difficult, slippery slope, and it's one of those situations of where there's probably not a good answer. Is this a possibility? Sure. Is it a great one? I don't know. But I also know that where we're sitting right now, I would like to see things try to take a step forward in some regard.
Even if it's baby steps, a step forward is still a step forward.
Mm-hmm.
3.
Trump's net worth drops $600 million on Forbes' rich list, falls 92 spots.
This is submitted by Captain Uranus to our news.
Yep, so Forbes does a list every year of the 400 richest Americans to show that the billionaire-in-chief's fortune fell by $600 million to $3.1 billion is what his current net worth is, putting him at number 248 on the list, after coming in at number 156 last year. This is mostly attributed to most of Donald Trump's real estate is in New York, and New York is currently in a very tough real estate market. So with that, he is having a very large loss of assets, and that's really the entire story.
It also mentions that his golf clubs in Scotland are also losing millions.
Oh, well.
So, I mean, that counts, matters.
I guess.
All right, would you like to lose millions?
Nathan, I would like to have millions to lose.
Sure, but if you had billions, would you like to lose millions?
I mean, on a surface answer, the answer is no, but he's not going to be doing bad anyway.
No, of course not. Well, I mean, he is because, he's Donald Trump and he's always doing bad. But I don't understand how the way he does things, it hurts my head. I've never seen someone so fucking lucky. It's astounding.
Yeah. In any case, if you are curious what the top end looks like, you have what is this an ad? Go the fuck away. You have Bill Gates topping the list for the 24th year in a row.
Congrats!
At 80,
he's older than me.
89,
just slightly.
$89 billion. Amazon's founder Jeff Bezos worth $81.5 billion, taking the number 2 spot. Warren Buffett at number 3 with $78 billion, and the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, at number 4 with $71 billion.
I like Warren Buffett.
The 400 richest Americans have a combined net worth of $2.7 trillion.
Oh my god.
You want to know something hilarious? No, not hilarious. Depressing?
What?
The 400 richest people in America could not pay off America's debt with all their money combined. They could
something even more depressing?
They could pay off just over a tenth of it.
They could also sit there and form their own nation and be wealthier than most nations.
That's also true.
It's sickening.
In terms of the youngest billionaire, that is Evan Spiegel, the creator of Snapchat, who is worth an estimated $3.1 billion. The oldest is Alexander Spanos at 94 years old, and he owns the San Diego Chargers, and he is worth $2.4 billion.
What about the age of the youngest one? You didn't say the age.
I'm sorry, 27.
27. I've got 3 more years to become a billionaire. Time for robot fights.
And if you're curious what it takes to get onto the list, it is $2 billion to make it onto the richest 400 Americans list. That estimates that there are around 170 billionaires who are too poor to make the cut.
Fuck you. Fuck you and your $1 billion.
2.
Trailer Park Boys actor John Dunsworth dies at the age of 71.
This was submitted by Sleeks to our news.
So
I've never watched Trailer Park Boys, but I can appreciate it when someone in comedy dies.
Yeah, I'm gonna take
Maybe not appreciate. That's the wrong fucking word.
I'm gonna take the moment to admit that I have no idea who this person is, but I'm totally going to attempt to capitalize clicks on his name.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't watched Trailer Park Boys, but that's definitely one that I've wanted to watch. I also know that the guy, forgot his name. It was yesterday. There's a Game of Thrones actor who died. He played the Pyromancer. He in like season 3 or 4, I think. He was also the he was also the voice of all of the audiobooks.
Yeah, you talked about it yesterday.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay. The actor's name is Roy Dotrice.
The cause of death currently is not known. It hasn't been revealed or talked about. The family has asked for privacy, and that is currently being respected. So rest in peace,
I feel like
good
more
sir.
places should do stuff like that. It's like, hey, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to talk about my kid dying. Like especially within the first couple days. It's like, hey, I want this, several days after, to really just detach from all of you guys and come to terms with this. Not for you guys to be constantly asking.
Explosive 60 Minutes investigation finds Congress and drug companies work to cripple DEA's ability to fight opioid abuse.
This is submitted by Ahoya Kite to Our Politics.
So what this found is that members of Congress alongside the pharmaceutical industry themselves helped fuel the opioid crisis. The reason behind this is that the three of the largest drug distributors, Cardinal Health, AmerisourceBergen, and McKesson, who are in charge of shipping drugs to pharmacies and hospitals around the U.S., the DEA was trying to crack down on those distributors who sent too many opioids to a particular location. But even in those cases, the distributor would just pay a fine and then keep on doing business as normal. In 2016, however, Congress passed a law to make it harder for the DEA to even impose those fines.
So they're being actual drug pushers.
Sort of. I mean, considering that the lawmaker that put in this act, the Ensuring Patient Access and Effective Drug Enforcement Act, which was aimed to improve enforcement around prescription drug abuse, it raised the standard of proof that the DEA needed to crack down on a drug company's pain pill distribution. So, I mean, it allowed them to do more stricter things if they could provide enough proof, but that proof is much harder to get. And in which case, though, Tom Marino of Pennsylvania, he was then nominated by Donald Trump to be the White House's Office of National Drug Control Policy, a position commonly known as the nation's drug czar, because that's what they kind of rule over, is the nation's drugs. But either way, this passed through, which makes it a lot more difficult for the DEA to impose any type of actual restrictions on drug distributors to pharmacies and hospitals. And because there's an increased number of opioids available at these places, doctors are prescribing them.
It's like a slippery slope, really.
Now, there is a report that says that drug makers spent around $40 million lobbying for the bill. Now, the people that are being accused of lobbying for this have said that that is false. Don't know right now, but there is an active investigation going forward into this to see if this actually is doing what they wanted it to do, or if it was just really effective lobbying and implementation of law that just benefits the drug manufacturers.
I would like to fucking know the answers, because if they're purposely doing this to our country, that's fucking... Opioid abuse affects more people than you would ever imagine in America, especially now.
Well, and I feel like so much of this country needs a lot of attention, not purely on opioids, but just on medicine in general, around the cost that is involved and the prescription medicines in general. Now,
socialized medicine.
Opioids are one of the worst, but I feel like if you're going to address that, you can address a larger issue at the same time.
As drug addiction?
I feel like you were able to address the opioid crisis by addressing big pharma's power.
No, that also would definitely be something that could help curb.
Instead of trying to treat the victim, what is it? Instead of trying to treat the system, remedy the source or whatever, like the cause of all of this, in a large regard, is because of big pharma and these drug distributors that are trying to push these opioids out as much as they can. And instead of trying to treat the people that are, I mean, you need to treat them as well, but I'm saying instead of just trying to figure out a way to help the people affected, fix the thing that caused them to be affected in the first place.
Yeah, don't just give them the fucking... Okay, so I can understand wanting to give them something that will help them in the between periods from trying to fix the problem and trying to figure out the problem in general, right?
Well, I think we know the problem.
Okay, sure. But if it doesn't end, if you are actively not trying to actually solve the problem and instead giving out more medication that will just delay, that's fucked up.
Well, and that's what I mean. There's been so many things about, like, yeah, we probably already have the cure to cancer, but pharmacies bought it so that they could treat cancer instead of curing it because you don't make money off of curing people. Justin says sell them drugs to help them get off their drug addiction. It's a vicious cycle.
I mean, sometimes it works. There's a lot of people who will talk about how smoking marijuana had helped them quit heroin, and I will fucking sit here and debate for hours about how marijuana is like one of the least harmful fucking drugs.
But it's still a mind-affecting substance.
It is. It's fucking silly as shit. 'Cause so is alcohol.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying that alcohol shouldn't be given attention as well.
So is tobacco and sugar.
Yeah, but we really shouldn't be eating as much sugar as we have. So
is caffeine.
That's true. You see, and it's not even the caffeine that I want. I just like the taste of coffee.
Yeah, right. I want a little bit of both. A lot of bit of both, but, a little bit of both.
A lot of bit of both. Oh, shit! Listener submission, just desserts for the deserter.
This is submitted by Athena Latina to our iReadit cast.
That's our subreddit.
Whoa,
dude. No. If you got stories that you want to submit, please submit them to our subreddit, which is iReaditcast. Anyway, this is regarding... God, I suck at names. Bo Bergdahl. Bo Bergdahl disappeared from his base in Afghanistan in June of 2009 and was held in captivity by the Taliban until May of 2014. Now, since then, since we got him back, and by the way, how we got him back was a prisoner trade. We released 5 people from Guantanamo Bay to get him back, and then we found out through this is that he abandoned his post at a forward outpost station, which is bad.
Yeah, that gets you thrown in prison.
It gets you in a lot of trouble. Bergdahl was facing up to 5 years in prison for a desertion charge for going AWOL, and up to life in prison for the charge of misbehavior before the enemy. And in terms of what misbehavior before the enemy is, any member of the armed forces who before or in the presence of the enemy, he was at a forward outpost station where he's supposed to be keeping an eye out, runs away, shamefully abandons, surrenders, or delivers up any command unit, place, or military property which it is his duty to defend. And because he was the lookout on an outpost station and said peace, he is in lots and lots and lots and lots of trouble.
There's a lot of things to this, though, because, like, in 2015, an Army Sanity Board evaluated that he had schizotypal personality disorder.
Well, and he initially said he left his post because he needed to report something about a corruption in chain of command. Now, nothing's ever came from that. No reports have actually come forward in regards to what this bad chain of command was. Like, and people have come out and said, there's an open door policy for the military if you suspect there's anything wrong or corrupt in terms of the chain of command. And it should be used because they don't want bad people in charge. Allegedly. Now, there was also a big amount of debate around how this case should be handled because during the 2016 presidential campaign, our current president, Donald Trump, said that he should just be shot for walking off his post.
Right. In the good old days, quote, in the good old days, he would have been executed, end quote.
And because of that, he decided to take a military judge because he doesn't believe he could get a fair trial in court. And people even tried to get his charges dismissed, saying that it wouldn't be possible for him to get a fair trial after Donald Trump's statements. Now, a military judge dismissed those charges, and Bergdahl later chose to be tried by a military judge rather than a jury. But, like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, he did put a lot of people's lives at risk so that he can go and complain. But at the same time, that shouldn't be the problem. The problem is him putting the lives at risk. Him complaining should be a thing that's allowed constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should be allowed to bitch about whatever you want to bitch about.
Now, in this case, he has pled guilty to the charges, but we don't actually know how long he will be sentenced for.
I have very mixed feelings about this. Like, yeah, he did it. He did a wrong thing. Let him take these responsibilities, or take responsibility for his actions. But at the same time, I still want to know what he deserted to talk about.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, I mean, fortunately, nothing negative happened due to his desertion.
Justin in the chat says at least one soldier was killed on the search. I wouldn't doubt it, but...
It's not just the search, it's also probably the rescue attempts. I mean, he was held by the Taliban for 5 years.
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. I'm glad he was released, but at the same time, like, I want to learn from the situation. Why did you decide to desert? Like, what went through your head to think that that was a good idea?
The other thing on this one is one of those cases where, like, I feel like jail is such an unfitting punishment. And I'm not saying he should be shot. I'm saying, like... No, I mean, I've never been to jail, so I don't know how much it sucks. I mean, it might, be fucking god-awful, terrible shit-tastic McGee. But for the most part, I mean, my brain says, man, we're just going to be paying money a long time to house and feed this guy in some form of penitentiary when he's still a young, able-bodied man that could help in some regard.
But, Michael, that's slavery.
I mean, don't we just call that... what is it called? Not customer service.
Community work service?
Community service, yeah.
That can also be, in some ways, considered slavery.
Probably.
Indentured servitude?
Are you trying to say that the jobs that inmates can do for like 17 cents an hour isn't slavery?
No, those jobs are definitely slavery.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got nothing else. If we do hear anything back in regards to this, we'll be sure to let you know, but who knows?
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Meeseeks! Look at me! Nathan, what
Giant fucking robot fight!
Oh, yeah?
Giant as shit robot fights.
Robot fight.
It's called Megabots.
Has it happened
Well,
yet?
okay. So the American one is called a Megabot, right? The other is the Kuritas from Sudabashi Industries, right? But it's tonight. In fact, it happened, and I have no idea what happened. So I'm trying to finish this up so I can watch that shit.
I can see the live feed right now. Stuff's happening.
Fucking say anything, you whore. I will fucking murder you.
Oh, yeah?
Not a single damn thing.
Can I talk about how they look? Because this is the first time I've actually seen them. And the American one with the eagle on it, the eagle kind of looks fucking stupid, okay?
Yeah, it does.
Like,
I've already discussed this at lengths with some people. Like, the concept art for the American bot looks so fucking sick. It's supposed to be two eagle heads sitting on his shoulder, both with aviators and Gatling guns coming out of their beaks, right? Then at the front you have like a Minotaur-looking fucking mech suit with some racing flames on the bottom. Our machine looks nothing like that except for the basic outline.
Yeah.
Where's the giant chainsaw arm that we're supposed to have? What's with the shitty coloring? Like, this, you could get somebody better to do that. I will sit there for less than $20. I'd sit there just to see the damn thing and paint better shit on it.
The Kuritas looks so much cooler than ours.
Shut the fuck up!
You've seen what they look like.
I know, but shut up. I have a bet writing on this.
Do you?
Yeah. I have a bet with actually one of our viewers, Brianna Strange. If America wins, I get a lunch. If Japan wins, I have to buy her a lunch.
So either way, you got a date?
No.
Oh. I tried, buddy.
Damn.
What?
No, but I got a date tomorrow, so I mean.
Oh, right on. All right, giant robots. Got it.
Yeah.
We don't have to go to work tomorrow. That's what I cared about in the next 24 hours, is that tomorrow is Alaska Day, which means it's a paid holiday for state workers, which means that we don't got to fucking work tomorrow.
That's what's up.
I'm pretty excited.
I know, so am I. That's why I have the date. That's why I'm going to go and fucking play not pool. I'm going to play 3D mini golf, and then I also might go bowling with my coworkers tomorrow.
You still plan on being here for the show, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Everybody, if you want to help support this show, if you get value out of it, show some value back. Patreon.com/dailyinternet. If you have a story that you would like us to talk about, even if it didn't happen recently, throw it onto our subreddit, which is at iRedditcast. Otherwise, you can email it to us, feedback.ireddit@gmail.com. If you would like to help support the show in other ways, 5-star reviews on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play, or follow and share us on all forms of social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those are at iRedditcast. You can find me at Schwan Michael and Nathan at Bimmenstein. And that is it, everybody. That is your 368th dose of the internet. I am Michael Schwan.
And I'm Nathan Wood.
And please remember, everybody,
Don't get eliminated!
have a good day, everyone.
Bye.
I mean, it has a whole new meaning when there's giant robot fights happening.
I know.
Bye.
Bye.